Hey, how's it going out there, guys? This is the week 2 discussion for advanced ballistics. I'm the gun psychiatrist, and of course, this week we're going to focus on case stresses as described in the assigned reading. The first part we're going to address is case head separation. What are the signs, and when should you be looking for it? Well, simply put, case head separation is, of course, when you have a case that has been fired so much, what you're going to get is a little ring that's going to run around the case, and you're usually going to notice it right here. That would be a good illustration. Sometimes it's going to appear as a double line. You're going to have a very hazy shaded area with a more defined line, but you're always going to feel a little bit of a lump, and that would tell you that the brass has been exercised so much that the next time it shoots, the entire casing can separate from the head of the case. When should you be looking for case head separation? Answer is always. Every time you shoot your brass, not only do you need to have these little things handy, but you also need to have a reloading manual that's going to show you the acceptable dimensions for a rifle cartridge. Of course, those are published by Sammy, and you can pull all your dimensions one at a time and check each specific area. Now, a lot of people are not that in-depth and are not going to do that. But if you have a questionable case or something looks funky with it, one of the things you can do is actually check most of the dimensions. It's critical, because if you don't do that, you could end up killing yourself. Of course, case head separation sticks out like a sore thumb. Sometimes it's hard to see, but most of the time you're going to see it on the brass, and it's going to appear right here. In part 2, we're going to talk about case neck lengthening. So when a bullet is fired, of course, everything expands. And when the case is fired, it's considered to be what many reloaders call fire forming or fire formed to that specific rifle's chamber if it is brand new brass from the factory. If this is the first time this casing has ever been fired, or this one, it fire forms to your chamber through a process called obturation. Basically, what happens is the case rapidly expands to the point that it will seal to the sides of the chamber, and then as it cools or as the pressure drops, that case slightly shrinks. Either way, it's still been expanded. One particular area that can become elongated is the neck of the case, which you're going to find right here. If the neck area with a seated bullet is ahead of where it's supposed to be within the chamber, what will happen is when you chamber that round, it can run over the portion of the chamber that starts to lead and make a small little crimp in that area. And what it's going to do is when it is fired, it's going to create a seal. Yet it also created a choke point because it's slipped over and it's stuck in that chamber. And that choke point is going to prevent the bullet from exiting the case, which in turn is going to cause your barrel's chamber to rupture probably into about 1 million pieces. So that's why it's always important to trim your cases and ensure that, of course, you have a proper case size each and every time, and you don't go over that. Of course, Sammy publishes all these specifications for free online, or you can buy a reloading manual and find those specifications specifically for that. Now, what is obturation? How can you identify the condition? Obturation is a process where basically a case expands to the inside of the chamber. A lot of people call this fire forming. But when the brass expands, it's going to come out of its original dimensions. And of course, those dimensions are met by SAMI specifications. And the way that you can check to make sure you're getting that is by doing this. Now, well, if you're not getting sealing, basically obturation, if your brass is not sealing inside the chamber, you're probably going to have some other problems going on there. Is it a process that you can identify as it happens? Absolutely not. But you can identify the after effects of it. And of course, it's going to be in the slight lengthening of your cases. That's how you're going to know that you're getting proper sealing, because as that pressure is expanding, it's forcing the walls of the soft brass to the walls of the chamber, and it is fire formed exactly to your chamber. As the pressure drops and it's extracted, you're going to have a slightly elongated case. That's why you need to pay attention to this puppy. Anyways, that's it for this week's discussion. I look forward to your comments below. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If not, I'm looking forward to good conversations with all of you. Thanks for watching.